Hey guys, welcome back to my show. Okay, it's time to get to these face frames. And I told you we're going to do these out of some tiger maple, and we are. And the reason I chose tiger maple is that, well, it's a little different. A lot of your figured woods are. You know, tiger maple, bird's eye, particularly the maple, quilted maple. You know, there's a thing called a book match. And a book match means where you split a piece of wood and you open it up like a book and you get a mirror image. Sometimes you can do that with tiger maple. Most of the time you can't. Well, there's a reason. And it kind of depends upon how high a figure you got. And we got a lot of figure here. Here's what happens. Tiger maple has a property about it, as do most of the figured maples. Sometimes your mahoganies, all of the woods, you've got to be careful with this. The term is called chatoyance, C-H-A something. And it's a French word, and it has to do with the way an opal ring and a tiger eye ring, you can move it, and it has that holographic effect. I've often described it as, you know, when you go to the carnival or to a fair and you win one of them little keychains, and you know, you look at it this way and it's an old granny with her walking cane, and you put it down this way and, well, it's not. You get the point. Exactly what it amounts to. And sometimes you will look at tiger maple one way and you'll see the curl real pretty. You go the other way and it flip-flops. Just like a hologram. It flip-flops. So you have to be careful. So to have you understand that, what we've got here is a small tiger maple log set. And it's a very, very nice one. Now, the reason I picked the log set is that I've got all one tree. These two boards are actually out of the same tree, but further down below, but that's another story. Anyway, and the way I've got it laid out is that this board that I'm using right here came right off the top of this board. Now, rather than book match the tiger maple, we want to do what's called a slip match. Meaning, instead of opening it up like this, what we want to do is do it like this. We want to keep the same face forward. If we don't, then we can start getting that holographic effect. But as we go, we want to make sure we got it right. You know, I've seen guys do book match, tiger maple book match panels, and you're standing looking at this, and this side is just absolutely gorgeous, particularly if you're looking at it on a little side angle. And you come over here, and then you're standing at the same angle, and the figure in the right one just totally disappears. You go the other way, and it reverses. What should have happened was if they would have done that slip match, the figure would have appeared equal or the same no matter how you viewed it. Now, the other thing I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing the envelope here, because the other thing we're going to do, in this corner cabinet, we've got our outside face, which is 4.5 inches. Then we've got a 2 1/4 inch front piece. Then we've got a 2 1/4 inch door frame. So we got 4.5 and 4.5, we got 9 inches. Well, this log, just like I showed you in some of the previous shows, this log is live sawn, meaning that it's just sliced. Just like you lay a cucumber down and slice it up. So what I'm doing, you can see right here, I've got my little face picture drawn, and I've got my I've drawn out right here on this one. I think I'm able to get 10 inches out of it, and that's pushing it because if I get any, I know you've run a board across a table saw and have that board go across, and as it comes out, you see it do this, or it sees it try to pinch. I get much movement in this. When I saw this wide board, I'm going to be in trouble. Because what I'm after is I want to get the side panel, the little front panel, and the door side all out of one board. I want the side, the front, and the door to all be one piece of wood. I think that's cool. That looks nice. So that's what I'm going for. Now I've got some extra log here that I can deal with if I need to, in case I can't get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just simply going to whack this off. Now I'm cutting this stuff at about 81 inches just to give me plenty of room to work with. This log is also pretty clear and white. And what will be my face frame, I've tried to work around it, but this board and that board is the only two I got that I can get the width I need. And I got a little sap pocket in this right here, see? But we'll deal with him. Now all I've done is skim planed this. I've skim planed it, and I'm right at, this was a 4/4 set, and I mean skimmed, but I'm right at about 15/16. I'd like to end up at 7/8, but I might wind up by the time I sand it 13/16. But so what? In any case, you know, all it's going to do is affect the thickness of my face frame a little bit. Not going to be a major critical thing. So don't let that upset you. And if I wound up at 3/4, wouldn't be a big deal either. Worked just fine. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take my jigsaw and I'm going to cut the bottom off, and I'm going to cut it at 81 inches. And then I'm going to take my straight edge. I've got me a big long straight edge set up. And using the jig we used a couple weeks ago to do our straight lining, I'm going to straight line this piece of maple. Get me one side straight, and then I'm going to get it worked down to size. As soon as I do that, we'll come back and start looking at making some frames. All right, guys, what I've done is I've got my two pieces straight lined. It's going to make up our, like I told you, it's going to make up our sides. And hopefully the side of each one of the drawers, all the drawers. Then I ripped some material because I need material for the crown. And I need material to make that will go across the piece. You know, for the top, we've got the piece that's got to go across the top. We've got the piece that goes under the door. Then we've got our piece that our drawer is going to fit in, and our very bottom piece. And we got to make, you know, our base and the crown. So I've ripped enough material, straight lined enough, I think, to get all that. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back, and this material is really nice. It's, you know, pretty nice and flat as it is. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to run it through the sander and get it dimensioned to 7/8. And I think I'm going to come out just fine at that. And but like I told you, you know, if it was 3/4, 13/16, whatever, it'd be just fine. So when we come back, I'm going to have all this ready to go. That's some pretty stuff. All right, guys, I'm actually processed up through 150. Now, I know I'm not supposed to be doing anything about tools in this, but I want to tell you something. I've been getting my abrasives for my drum sanders from Industrial Abrasives. I think it's industrialabrasives.com. And I've been getting them from them for a couple months. And this is the first time I've processed tiger maple. And I actually took it up to 150, going pretty hard. And I didn't get a bunch of burns. That rarely do I get to take tiger maple past 120 without it burning in the drum sander. And especially when you get a little mineral streak like that, and that sander hits it, it'll burn in a skinny minute. Now, I'm going to mention this because this video will be around for a while. Go to my October-November newsletter of '09, and there's a write-up on this. But it didn't burn. I don't know why. And guess what? I don't care why. It didn't burn. That was pretty cool. Now, we got some nice maple here, but indicative of tiger maple, many times you'll see a nice wide board and the figure will dissipate in the center, and there's usually always one side that it's a little heavier, the curl is heavier than the other. And then we talked about that chatoyance thing, or that holographic effect. I want to be sure. So I sanded this right at 15/16. So I'm still heavy. But at this point, I want to start figuring everything out, making sure I've got the right faces where they are, everything laid out where I want it to be, so that I can bring all this together in as nice a match as I can. So what I've got some General Finishes light walnut dye. It's water-based. And all I'm doing is I'm going to lather this thing down with the dye. Now, Crystal, just in a minute, I'm going to try to show them this holographic effect, and I hope we can get it on camera. Now y'all know why my bench, me, and usually everything else is all covered in stains and dyes. Crystal, I want you just to swing around the arch. Now, guys, I want you to pick out a spot and focus on it. Come this way. I hope you can see it. Figure has a completely different look from one angle to the other. Now, here's the other thing. Okay. If you look at this, Now see, I just stood this up, and now this side is very dominant, and this side just went, I don't really see the curl here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to stand it over here at the corner cupboard. And I'm going to do the mate. Because I want to know what this thing's going to look like before I commit to cutting this stuff up. You know, if this was a piece of cherry, oak, walnut, wouldn't have this issue. And sometimes the higher the figure and the deeper the curl is, the more you get it. Now, if you can see, yep, that's not working. I don't know if you can see this on camera. Do you see how much less curl you have here than you do here? Now I flipped that board, now you can see the curl. Is this one? No, I don't have it. I can't reverse this one. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And see, one of the things with this is, even though we've got these angles on this corner, and we want decent figure there, I want the dominant figure right dead in the front. Because this would be the side of the cabinet, and this would be my door. But I got to get the curl kicking out. And that other board's got some defects in it, if you're on the back. So I'm going to have to go this one back, and this one's good both sides. So I'm going to see if I can get what I can get. I've got this die pretty thin. Should have gone a little stronger. Nope. See, you can tell this is a book match. See this little area right here with the little wild figure, and right here? And I know I'm not going to get this to book, hard as I try. And that's wild. Okay. I'm going to play with this a minute. That might be the way it's going to have to It's still book match, but it's end for end. Nope. See, I can't turn this one out. See, I got an ugly spot here, here, and here. Keep wanting to come back to this. Maybe. Nope. I wish you could be here holding this in your hand, flipping it. I don't know how much you're picking up on camera, but guys, it's just like day and night. I don't know if I can show. Let me see if I can. See if it shows, Crystal. Watch this side right here. Did you get that? That's what I'm dealing with here. And I'm trying to teach you how to deal with it. Sometimes there's no real good easy way. All right. That don't look bad. Right there. All right, let me. Now, don't worry about this dye going on here. This is a good thing. Because those of you guys who watch my finishing and whatever, you know about trace coating. Well, that's exactly what this is going to wind up being. See, what I want is I want this heavy grain, which is the match to this, inside. And that's what I'm telling you about a book mat. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. So we're just going to have to every time I turn that board, it just disappears on me. Can y'all see that on camera? That's a perfect book match. But you see how much curl you're showing here and not here? That's that holographic thing. That's that. Then you see out here, it's really nice curl. So you think, well, maybe I can flip it. Nope. Goes away again. Fun, huh? Now this would be ideally the match. And that's because this face came right off of this face. In other words, this board, when it was in the tree, was just like this. Or the other way, either way, but it's the same face. All right, I'm going to play with this a little bit more and a few more pieces and get this thing right. Is that about the best we've come up with? I think so too. What y'all think? Bob, I don't even want to hear from you. You're colorblind. It isn't perfect. This could be the best we're going to get. All right, this is going to be the opening, that the piece that the drawer front's going to come out of. Now it's a little lighter because I haven't wiped it quite as many times with dye. But do we want it this way? Which way is the figure more proper? Yes, what?
That way.
All right, now think about something here now. When we've got a molding that's going to come right along this edge, and this will be our belt line. Okay, so we've got a lot heavy dominant figure there, but is the figure showing up?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have our door tops in here. We all think, huh? Yeah, I know. I tell you, I like that figure raining down. How wide is this piece? I think we need 6 3/4, and I'm 7 1/2. So I'm gonna take some of that bottom off. I don't think the back's any better. Let's look. Hey, y'all remember that bench we just sanded and cleaned up? Well, there you go. But Tommy McDonald, I'm protecting your shirt, big boy. I just want you to notice that. All right, now on the back of this, we got a completely different figure. And we got a lot of flippy flop. Ooh, I like this side better. And the reason I like this side better is that it's got, you don't see this? It's got the curl coming this way and going that way. So you always check these things out. All right. This way?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't even flipped it. How do you know?
No, the other way.
Yeah, this way.
Hologram, no. The hologram stuff. Yeah, and then you do top and bottom.
All right. Got that. Don't go nowhere. All right, guys, what do y'all think? I think what do you think, Chris? This bottom right here for the crown. Huh? Definitely. I don't know, that looks pretty good. Yeah, this is going to get cut at 3 inches right here. This is going to get cut off. So you're saying do it this way. Y'all heard her, guys. I'm right. You don't hear that very often around here. All right. Now I got one last piece. All right, for the base, there's that piece, because I got a bad end. It's going to be one side or the other. All right, or I got this piece. Like that. Y'all agreeing? Now guys, let me ask y'all a question. What else you going to see is kind of craziness? What if I turn this one this way? Is that bottom? So now this is only 4 1/2 inches, so it's going to be like here. Yeah. This part and this up. Alright, now what we're gonna do, guys, is the off-fall from this, we'll make our little, we got a little 1-inch piece goes here, and one at the top, and then we've got one down here in the bottom that the base will actually go over top of. So once we get that sorted out, we'll check them. But this gives me where I can cut my pieces out and mark them and know what's going to be what. But I hope you learned something from this. Tiger maple isn't just grab a bunch of boards and start slapping it together. And a lot of your figured woods isn't. So I hope you learned something with this. This is the main reason I wanted to do this out of tiger maple. I wanted you to see the difference and be aware of that holographic effect. Because I'm going to tell you something, that's the difference in your furniture being art and just being furniture. You know, I had a guy kind of chastised me pretty good. He said there wasn't nothing art about woodworking. And I told y'all this before, some of you, and I looked at him and I said, well, maybe yours isn't. But that's exactly the way I perceive it. And making sure you've got all of this right makes a big difference. And the other thing I want you to get is that this case is built out of poplar, of course, then the exterior is out of tiger maple. Well, that allows me to put more of my effort and my money into the face material. And that just, because this is the tiger maple corner cover. The inside and the back, doesn't matter. And when you go through and you know you're willing to go the money to get really nice special stuff and take your time in matching up your grains and whatever, guys, it makes all the difference in the world in what it looks like. And again, it's one of those things, instead of, yeah, that's nice, and oh my goodness, we like him, oh my God. I like it when a client comes in and looks at a piece we just finished. I like to see him sit there and go, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, we're going to do some whacking. One last thing before she turns that camera on. I want you to notice something. This is a water-based dye. I put dye on both sides no matter what. And the reason I did that is I'm actually putting water on raw wood. And if I do both sides, I'm going to keep it equal and keep it balanced. Okay? Now I got to let it all dry.